On today's World Insight, a man shares his family story living through the coronavirus in the outbreak epicenter, Wuhan. What was behind his speedy recovery from the infection?
As nobody in the street, a lonely street, a lonely city.
And the EU and UK commenced trade talks. How will the coronavirus outbreak in Europe impact negotiations? And finally, we speak to Dr. Golden Gallia, WHO representative to China, as we examine the numbers behind the coronavirus epidemic.
These graduated risk-based approaches have been well demonstrated across the provinces of China.
And here's our host, Tian Wei.
Hello and welcome to World Insight. The program is coming to you from Beijing. I'm Tian Wei. Let's start with the latest situation on the coronavirus outbreak. In China, new confirmed cases and suspected cases have both reached their record low since February. China's total number of confirmed cases stands at around 80,000. More than half of them have recovered and over 2,900 have died. How is the latest situation in the city of Wuhan, the epicenter of COVID-19, and how are lives like for those who suffered from the infections? About that, I talked to Zhang Wuyi from Wuhan earlier today. He and his father suffered from COVID-19. After receiving treatment in the hospital, they recovered and now are staying at home, waiting for the end of their self-quarantine period of 14 days. Let's hear his story. And now we are joined via Skype by Zhang Wuyi, who is an associate professor from the School of Music with Zhenghan University based in Hong Kong. He and his father recovered from the COVID-19 and certainly is in good mood. Wuyi, welcome to our program. So good to see you.
Hey, Tian Wei, how are you? I'm good.
Obviously, you look wonderful. This is the 12th day since you guys are out of hospital. Tell me how you are feeling today.
Yeah, I'm okay because I checked the temperature just now. It's 36.5. Yeah.
Wow, congratulations. And how is your dad?
Thank you. Oh, no, he's good also. Yeah. Because both of us recovered faster than our expectations. Yeah, we have been back home for 12 days. Yeah.
Congratulations. And you have 2 days to go before the self-quarantine period comes to an end. Only 2 days to go. So how are you spending the past 12 days? Cooking or relaxing?
Right. I spend much time on the cooking because the nutrition is quite important for the recovery of the illness.
So what did you cook for your father?
I think most are the vegetables, as my dad has the
diabetes. Yeah, I see. Okay, he's suffering from diabetes, so vegetable dishes are great. So tell me, now in retrospect, how did you and your dad recover? What were some of the most important stages of your treatment that you think really work for both of you?
I don't know what is the best way, but I can share my experiments, my father and my experiments. I think our life in the past almost 1 month, I think there are 3 points. The first is we went to hospital on time, particularly my dad. He's 77 years old and was in serious condition when we arrived at hospital on February 7th. The doctor said if we went to the hospital later, he cannot imagine what happened. And the second, I think, is 100% trust the medical staff. My dad is a medical professor and a doctor, but we are patients at hospital. So at the first day when we were in hospital, I spoke to the Professor Feng Yi, the leader of the medical team. I said, you can do any treatment without our permission. I 100% trust you. A relationship is a little strange and subtle between the medical doctors and the patients in China. And Professor Feng said it's very important that the patients and their relatives' collaborations. And the third, I think, is positive mind. At the beginning of the lockdown, I made myself far from the news, particularly the negative news. I'm a teacher and a scholar, so it's common to stay at home for paper writing, for the academic research. So I tried to shift my attention on my research. I brought my laptop and my books to the hospital, and proudly I planned an event, an online talk with the Hong Kong contemporary dance company when I was in hospital, that we invited Zhang Wuyi, a well-known choreographer, to give a talk for the Wuhan college students. I don't want to show I work hard. What I do is to make myself to be a normal guy, work as usual. Yeah.
Well, it's amazing that when you were in the hospital in serious conditions, you were still trying to organize online events and try to organize contemporary art events for your students, not only here in China, but also...
So nobody realized I was a patient. I'm still a patient.
Interesting. I love that 3 point you just shared. And I heard that you brought some books to the hospital when you were there with your dad. What did you bring? Show us. This book is a Chinese version written by the Professor Tang Xiaobing. This is a Chinese version. The English version is this one. It's on the visual culture in China. Okay.
And another one is on the fans, text approaches by the Henry Jackson, and books on the Chinese popular music. This is a Chinese version. Yeah.
That's so cool.
And
Love
this
it.
one is music, culture, and politics and the performance. This
that's
is,
great.
From the Taiwan scholars. Yeah.
It seems that you are taking great advantage of the time when you're at hospital. Many would say you're so optimistic a guy. It seems that you and your dad are both that way. I mean, it is something that you could never expect, a disaster coming from the sky almost. But you managed to handle it very well. Tell me, what was it like when you got to know that both you and your father were suffering from COVID-19 and you were supposed to go into the hospital, to check into the hospital? What went through your mind at that time? How did you prepare yourself and your dad?
Actually, my dad is a medical doctor. Both of us do not want to speak too much. We don't mention on it. We checked the body temperature on January 29th and found both of them had a low-grade fever, but lower 38. And then we had some medicine at home, traditional Chinese medicine at home. And on the 5 days later, around 3rd of February, we went to the hospital in the evening. As we were told, it was not busy in the evening, because my home is quite close to the hospital, around 5 minutes by walk. And we had a blood check and the CT, and the doctor gave us some medicine, and then we went back home. So it seemed that nothing happened. But 3 days later, I sent the CT result to a friend who is a medical doctor. And then she strongly suggested you must go to the hospital as soon as possible. She said the hospital is the most safest place. And then we contacted the community staff and the medical organizations. But my dad didn't speak too much. And then I think I did not have much time to think, to be nervous. But we are quite lucky, and then 2 days later we got a bed, and then we went to the hospital. I was not scared when we learned maybe we were infected. But when I walked in the street, when we came back home, I felt a little nervous, as nobody in the street, a lonely street, a lonely city.
Wuyi, you mentioned about the city. That's what I really want to ask you about. I mean, you love your city, the city of Wuhan. It's a beautiful one, by the way. Cherry blossom in Wuhan for the spring season is the most well-known throughout China. I'm really looking forward to seeing it, but not this year. What was it like for you, Wuyi, to know when you walk out of the hospital, that people, in order to make sure about the social distancing, needs to stay at home. And the city is, in a way, blocked from the rest of Hubei and certainly from the rest of China. And you and your dad, your future is not certain yet when you walked out of the hospital. What was it like for you and for your dad?
But I think this is a double edge for the disease hit Wuhan. It's a challenge, also it's an opportunity for the Wuhan. And the most important now is how and what Wuhan people do, and then we can get the response from the outside. Yeah.
So what's your next plan? I mean, what's your plan from now on? This is your 12th day, and we're approaching the 14-day crucial time, self-quarantine, and then you check again with the hospital. Any future plans? What do you want to do if you recover for sure? And what are you going to share with your dad and your family, your friends?
Nothing special. I have to continue to stay at home, even nothing happened, because I need to compose my new book, which will be released in this year. So I have some paper.
What is that about? What is the book about?
It's originated from my PhD thesis. It's on the MIDI Music Festival. It's maybe the largest outdoor music festival. Yeah.
Wow, sounds fascinating. The rock and roll here in China and the outdoor music festival. Even though the festival has to postpone this time, I guess.
Yeah, I think, yeah, because this is the 20th anniversary of the MIDI Music Festival. I spoke to the founder of the MIDI Music Festival. He said probably he has to cancel the festival in the May holiday. You know, this is the golden time for the outdoor music festival. Maybe in the National Day holiday.
I really hope that I can see you at the festival in October, if it happens then. If not sooner.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. Maybe I can bring my book.
I want to have a copy at least. Thank you so much, Wuyi. All the best to you,
thank you
and your dad. Thank you for sharing your very precious time with us. And precious experience, certainly.